Okay, folks, so today is supposed to be a dry day, so I'm gonna go out here and get some chores done because tomorrow it's supposed to rain. Last week I got this area kind of cleaned up, and so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna transplant the third and final little patch of green onions right here. I've got my 4-row gritter, my little green onion starts, and I've just gridded out this bed. I will be planting these squares at the corner, in the center, on all 4 of the rows. Okay, folks, this is me. This is me transplanting green onions. Oy. Okay, I've got 68 little fellows in here. And now I'm going to move on to this patch between the dill and the parsley. So these are my little tiny cilantro starts that aren't really ready to be planted out, but I'm going to do it anyway. So I've got the 4-row gritter going here, and in this case I'm just going to hit the edges of all 4 rows. I've got 60 little fellows in here, and I hope they survive. So this is my second try at cilantro. The last batch just bolted straight to seed as soon as I transplanted it. But that was after a period of really cold, cruddy weeks of weather. And so I'm just seeing maybe cilantro would do better starting this time of year. It might not make it. This last patch of green onions might not make it, but we'll see. Live and learn, right? I've got a patch that I cleared out, this half bed in the back where I had lettuce, and I'm going to transplant out my next batch of Salanova lettuce. This is my 7th and last batch of Salanova lettuce. These green really are too small to transplant, and a lot of them didn't even come up. But I'm going to transplant them anyway. The red seems to be doing fine. And what I've noticed is I think this is the old potting soil that I used last year. I had a little bit left, and so I made some trays, and then I started making trays with this new potting soil, which is different. And I've just been noticing it doesn't seem like the plants are doing well in this potting soil. They just don't seem to root very well. And so I've got to kind of think about that. When I went to the hardware store early in the spring to get potting soil to make my soil blocks, they didn't have any of that brand that I used last year, which worked out really well. So I just got whatever they had, and I ended up buying a bunch of bags of it. Transplanted. These guys are eensy teensy teensy, these little greens. I got 40 of the greens and almost 72 of the reds. And hopefully a slug doesn't come through here because it would just gobble the plant in one gobble. Yeah, I'm not going to water these guys in because I think everything was a little bit moist. We should get, what, a ½ inch of rain tomorrow. Hopefully that all does it. So, okay, folks, next up, I Jang-seeded mizuna and spinach in more than a half bed. I kept going and I didn't think about it. So I've got about a half bed here in the front where I just yanked out the one of the first batches of Salanova lettuce last week. And so I'm going to get the Jang and seed some more mizuna and spinach in this remainder of this bed. I was just getting ready to Jang seed this little section here in mizuna and spinach. Then it occurred to me that I probably should just yank out these flowering mustards and seed the same thing in this little patch right here. So that's what I'm going to do first. Okay, this bed first, I'm going to do 2 rows of spinach on the east side. Okay, I've got a little bit of spinach left. I'm going to do 2 rows over on this other bed. Can you see? Can you see what's going on here? Can you see? Okay, 2-ish rows of spinach in that bed. Okay, I'm gonna do 3 rows of mizuna on the west side. I was surprised that this stuff came up in the chunky monkey soil, but it did. All right, 3 rows of mizuna in this bed. Can you see? Can you see what's going on? Can you see what's going on? Okay, I do not know how well that's seeded, this little tiny patch that I'm having a hard time wandering around in. So I took some detailed video earlier in the season when I was Jang-seeding this mizuna and spinach and kind of looked at the growth. I also did the same thing for the carrots, and I'll put out a video about that, you know, probably in the winter time. So then that'll kind of explain how I've been doing that. Yeah, I think I'm going to take a little break, and then if it doesn't start raining, I might harvest some things. I ran into a person that needs dill to make pickles. Only harvested from this little patch once. I think it was a couple weeks ago. And they are growing back. So like, I think I can clip this right here. And I do notice some of them have little guys coming down even from the very bottom. So I think that this is all I'm gonna wanna cut from that patch. I don't know how much that weighs, we'll see. So next up, I think I'm gonna go ahead and thin down this parsley. Okay, so I've got these guys pruned down a little bit. And 9 bunches of parsley. This is the nicest chard bed that I've ever grown. Just really helping to have everything under insect netting. So nice. Last year I had the insect netting and the slug boards for the kale only, and the chard was just left out in the open with nothing the whole time, and they just got wrecked, probably both by slugs and spotted cutworms. And so anyway, they seem to be doing much better. I'm getting hit by no-see-ums. 7 bunches of chard, and I think I probably could get, you know, at least 3 more out of that bed, so I'm gonna say I can sell 10. I snapped off the woody part of the garlic scapes first, and then the tender tops I went ahead and chopped up. Yeah, can you see that? Can you see? I've got 20 in the first layer and 18 in the next layer. That's 38 bags, and they're about 8 ounces each. And I'm just going to, you know, throw the lid on this thing, make room in the freezer, and I'll have a bunch of frozen garlic scapes. I got 2 tubs from last year carrots. This is just half a tub. The other tub below it is full. But I think I'm just gonna throw my garlic scapes on top here. Got this old kale from last year that I didn't get used up. I might just compost that and start doing some fresh bags of kale in here. Lettuce mix left over from last week. I've got about 3.5 pounds here, and then 2, 4, 6, 7 bags, which is another 3.5 pounds. So that's about 7 pounds. We'll see if the senior center will want this. 4 plants are giving me not quite 3 ounces. So the weather forecast isn't supposed to be that great, although the forecast keeps changing, so it's really hard to know. Today was supposed to be like sun breaks and stuff, and now it's sprinkling just a little bit. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out and get my lettuce today because it's supposed to be more likely to rain in the coming days. But I did want to check to see how much basil I could get out of these beds, and I'm thinking that maybe since the weather isn't supposed to be great, we're not supposed to get a lot of sun, that maybe I won't pick these plants very hard. Maybe I'll do 2-ounce bags again, and I'll just say I've got 20 of them available. So then that should leave enough leaf so these guys can kind of keep growing. and I'll have basil next week. Squirrel's mad. Can you see him? He's right there. And he's mad. I'm about to harvest lettuce. Okay, so I had 1, 2, 3, and now I'm into my 4th patch of Salanova. It is pretty big. It could have been picked last week. And sometimes the red is a little bit slower. But it probably could have been picked last week too. Okie dokie, all cut. I'm gonna clean these up later. I'm just gonna cover them up for now. Okay folks, so this is the exciting part where I harvest baby chard for the lettuce mix. And this is the mizuna that I cut whenever it was, thinking maybe it would grow back and I could cut it again, but it's just bolting to seed. Little flowers here and there. Come on, this is my baby chard. Grow, babies, grow. So what I'm gonna do is grab this patch here. A lot of this leaf is kind of light colored and weird, but I guess that is what it is. And this will be for next week. And then I'm hoping some spinach over here will grow fast enough to go into the lettuce mix after that. Okay, so I've got these 3 rows. And I've got my fall colored leaves. So pretty. Can you see the sun? It's popping out. Can you see it? Sun. Okay, so I've got this leaf all cleaned up. Should be good for 1 more cut once it regrows. Dudes, I hate to say this, but there's a chill in the air. Almost feels like fall at the end of July. Okay, I got bulk kale bagged up from not last week, but the week before. And the week before that, I had some bunches and I've got 4 more left. I'm gonna go ahead and cut these up and add them to this bag. Okay, so I was originally making these 10-pound bags, but this one is just a little over 7 pounds. And I've got a staple in the corner so that I know that it's one of the new bags of kale.
Hi, babies. Hi, little babies. Don't be afraid. Hi, sillies. Oh, it's okay, babies. Oh, no. Hey, little babies. Hi. Hey, little babies. Hi there. Don't be afraid. You know who I am.
Okay, so I'm starting to harvest my leaning power of peas. Ta-da! My tub of peas. And I was just thinking that as long as this trellis doesn't actually flop all the way over, the leaning part is kind of a nice feature because I can just reach up on the other side and grab peas. Okay, dudes, I'm grabbing this patch of orach for the lettuce mix. Orach. So in the past, I have, used the wash station to run the lettuce mix through the greens bubbler first, and then I come out, get the carrots and green onions. They're super dirty, right? And then I wash those, and then I can clean up the whole wash station area. But I'm gonna do a new approach this week and see how it goes. I'm gonna harvest the carrots and the green onions, get those washed up. I have 3 boxes of about 100 each, total 300. Let's see if I can make 30 bunches. And remember, I don't know if you've been watching me for years, I've been rubber banding these in the past, and it takes so long to try and get the rubber band around the carrots. So this year, I got little twist ties like I've been planning. Finally got it done. Yeah, they kind of look like this. That's what I've been doing. Okay, so I've got 12, 12, and 10. What is that? 24, 34. Oakley dokley. My last 9 green onions from the first patch. Hello. Okay, folks, so here's the deal with the lettuce mix. Each week, I have been harvesting more lettuce out of those 20-foot sections than I am actually selling. And so I think part of that is because I've been letting the lettuce grow probably a week longer than it should. It's getting a little bit big, so I'm getting more weight out of those patches. And so then what happens is I harvest the small amount of chard and orach, and it gets diluted in all of that lettuce, and then I only sell a portion of it. And so what I've been doing the last couple of weeks is getting the extras to the senior center as a donation. But what I was thinking is I should just wait until 6 p.m. when the online store closes. I know exactly how many bags I need to sell. And then I can just put those doodads in that amount of lettuce mix, and it won't kind of get diluted. Okay, lettuce mix bagged up. I've got 3 tubs of 8. That's 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. 16 little 4-ounce packs of peas, plus an extra one for me. 12 of the larger, approximately 8-ounce packs of peas. Okay, dudes, so I think I've got time to get the total 20 basil. Oi. So that's what I'm doing. Okay, so I've got 9 bunches of kale plus almost 10, and 2 more bunches of chard, and 5 bunches of collard greens. First patch of onions all gone. And this will be the first time I'm gonna grab some of these leeks. This is just for personal use, and I think they're big enough I can throw them in some pasta sauce tonight. 4 leeks. That's a big old bunch. I'm about ready to sell. The sun has weirdly come out at the end of the day. I got some lemonade from the neighbor kids across the street. Sun went away. I sold quite a bit of stuff. I mean, lots of carrots. So I've got one thing hanging. I've got a tray of chives that I started months and months ago. They've been sitting in these little peat pots. I've occasionally watered them, and I was hoping that I could get soil moved over to this hugelkultur over here and I could get these planted, but this is just not going to happen. I've been too busy to get soil over here. I've been throwing all my waste veggies, whoa, over here rather than putting in the composting bins, just because I just need to fill this area up. So there they go. The deer have eaten all of my fireweed plants, but they seem to keep popping out leaves at the bottom, so I expect they'll come back next year. Since the deer love them so much, I probably should plant some more. Next year I think I'll get this area fenced in. I've got to get this weeded here where my blueberries are still surviving with a few green berries on them. At this point, everything is set in stone. I'm running out of time. So everything that is seeded is what's going to be seeded. Everything that's been transplanted is what's going to be transplanted. And so just spend the next 4 weeks or so harvesting, and that will be it. I just wanted to thank everybody who chimes in the comment section. It's just really nice to have that community. And today I'd really especially like to thank my mom, who's been there since the very beginning, watching my little videos.